Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Carlston Harris. We got minus 225 on Rakhmonov and plus 185 the return on Carlston Harris. Now, this is a very fun fight between two dynamic two dynamic grapplers, and I'm interested to see who's actually going to come out on top and who's able to impose their will a little bit more in the spot. Now, Rakhmonov comes into this bout with a 14-0 record, finishing every single one of his opponents, not to mention 39-year-old Michel Prazeres last time around, who had never been finished in his career. So that's definitely a high accolade for my guy Rakhmonov to be able to pull that off, and especially in the fashion that he did. On the flip side, we got Carlston Harris coming in with a 17-4 record, riding a 5-fight winning streak, and the guys look at nothing short of impressive, especially in the 2 wins that he's been able to rack up inside the UFC. Obviously, we saw him go out there and finish Christian Aguilar in his last fight, and then I believe it was the Impa Kasanganay fight in his second fight, where he actually managed to land a big shot on him and then finish him there. Carlston Harris' striking, is a little bit amateur in a sense. Like, he throws a lot of heat behind his strikes, but more often than not, he's toppling over his power, kind of overextending on shots a little bit too much. And we've seen, a slightly more technical striker can hurt him, as we saw in that fight against Christian Aguilera, where Aguilera landed some good shots in that fight, which, caused some concern for Carlston Harris, but Harris was obviously able to get the fight to the ground. The best way he likes to get the fight to the ground is getting those double underhooks up against the cage, especially once he gets these guys in the clinch position. From there, seems like he's very powerful in terms of tripping guys forward or backwards, depending on how you're looking to defend the trips. On the flip side here with Shavkat Rakhmonov, he does show some instances where he gives up the double underhooks a little bit too easily, and I don't think that's something he wants to do here in a guy in Carlston Harris who could possibly be stronger in this position. I do give Rakhmonov the slight advantage in terms of the striking, as he's a little bit more polished, doesn't really fall over his shots, and he does a damn good job of using his knees, and especially with the height advantage he more often than not has over his opponents, and especially considering how heavy and how much Carlston Harris dips his head when throwing those big shots. I wouldn't be surprised if Rakhmonov catches him with one of those either. But if this fight does get mixed up in the grappling realm, to me, it seems like whoever's stronger will likely get the better of certain situations. But I do think that Rakhmonov is slightly more refined with his grappling approach. With that said, I'm a big fan of Carlston Harris's Dars and Anaconda series, and given that he's so long and lanky, that definitely plays into his advantage when trying to wrap those submissions up. But I think he's going to have some trouble doing that against a guy in Rakhmonov who will be ready and prepared for that type of approach. So I don't think that Rakhmonov deserves to be a huge favorite, the minus 250, minus 300 that we were seeing when this line originally got dropped. But now that the money is coming in on Harris, I think we're getting closer and closer to what the accurate line should actually be. I got Rakhmonov around 65%. I think that's where he should be, and I do think he ends up winning this fight. The difference maker to me is going to be the striking, as I do think that Rakhmonov is slightly better in those spots. But Rakhmonov's chin and durability is going to get tested here, as Carlston Harris does a good job of putting those strikes on his chin or on his opponent's chin, and that could absolutely happen in this spot. So no action from me. If anything, I like the over 1.5 round minus 135. I could see this fight, where they're tangling up a little bit and then it goes over that 7.5 minute mark. But I think that the longer that this fight goes, Rakhmonov will likely have the advantage, and I think he could finish Carlston Harris late as well. So I'm going to go Rakhmonov, and I think he gets it done via 3rd round TKO.